TNA Wrestling crosses that line again as Impact rolls on. And another fantastic episode for us to get into, which of course airs on AMC, on AMC Plus, and TNA Plus over here in the UK, Sports Center 360 over in Canada. And wow, lots of stuff went down on TNA this week. We'll quickly run through the matches that were on the show. Mustafa Ali was going to defend the TNA International Championship against Adam Brooks. Mr. Elegance was in action again against the hometown man, of course, in his hometown. Jeff Hardy one-on-one with Vincent. We'll get to that very, very shortly. Myra Sade, Ali, and Rosemary took on Tessa Blanchard, Mila Moore, and Victoria Crawford, who is on Alex TNA exclusive interview. Hit those playlists or go into the TNA exclusive playlist below. You will see that very interview with Victoria Crawford, where she does indeed talk about the unreal. So go and see. Go and watch that. And in the main event, it was a walk with Elijah strap match between Frankie Kazarian and, you guessed it, Elijah. Who would have thought it, huh? But I mentioned we're going to get to the opening contest, which indeed was Jeff Hardy one-on-one with Vincent from the Righteous. Now, Hanny Fan and Ray World on commentary did announce that Matt Hardy and Dutch had been banned from ringside for this. Really, really good. And what I like about this is the Righteous for so long have been getting into the head of the Hardys. They've been manipulating them a little bit. They're probably one of the first teams that have really, I would literally say, got in the head of the Hardys, and it's really been a fascinating watch on TNA recently. Jeff and Vincent had a great match, by the way. Obviously, standard Jeff Hardy stuff in this. Vince has just got an aura. I don't know what it is. It could be the way he just walks to the ring. He's just this. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about Vincent that is just great. Whether it's his promos, whether it's his walk, whether it's his in-ring style, it's just a combination together that really, really works. He's kind of got a character that perfects him and him that perfects the character. And it totally, totally works in this. Now, Matt and Dutch were banned from ringside. However, the lights through this did indeed go out, and we saw the return of broken Matt Hardy in this, and it leads to a distraction, which then Jeff hits the Swanton bomb for the unos dos tres there, and Jeff Hardy picks up the win. But Matt Hardy is once again broken, everybody. We know, I think, where this is going, but it's great to see Vincent. He carried Dutch away, and they both had, I think, like horror movie style smiles on their faces. Because now, again, to plug our TNA playlist, the Righteous were there. They come along for a conversation with us, and they did say that they wanted the first ever cinematic match on AMC television. Well, at this moment in present time, it is very much looking that way. And I'm looking forward to seeing when and where this happens. But we've only got one of the Hardys that are broken at the minute. Will we see Brother Nero? Will we see was it Whisper? Willow. Will we see Willow as Jeff Hardy? That's another alter ego that Jeff has got. So we're not fully broken yet, but we're part broken on TNA, and the Hardys are going to that place where crazy stuff happens. Now, backstage, we saw Gia Miller and Frankie Kazarian. She was going through the rules of the strap match. You have to touch four corners of the strap. It is generally, they'll be tied together, though, with a guitar strap. And the match starts backstage, and it can only end when everyone touches the four corners. And Kazarian's like, well, I'm no stranger to the unique matches. He was in the Steel Asylum, he was in the X Division, King of the Mountain, and he will walk, and everyone will walk with the king when the match is over. Well, we'll find out if Elias did walk with Elias, if Elijah did walk with the king, or whether the king walked with Elijah. Right, coming right up or main event in Impact Wrestling this evening. Now, the International Challenge. Now, if you remember this International Championship match, Mustafa Ali won the championship, and he's basically come out and said he will defend it against people from internationals on the basically independence, pretty much indicating that no one in TNA is going to get a shot. So, with that in mind, they last week announced that he was going to be an Australian representative that was going to take the reins and take on Mustafa Ali. And it was Adam Brooks was the one that was chosen. And my goodness me, did they hit a home run on this one? This match was great. It really, really was. Compliments of styles. Mustafa Ali, if you give him the ball, you strap a rocket, you give him a ball, you give him anything, he will absolutely knock it out of the park. These two um, put on a fantastic. You can't. Hang on 1 second. I need to sip. You can't also have not had this match about how great Adam Brooks was in this as well. However, I mean, this international championship now, I think. And no disrespect to like the Macklins of this world, or the previous international champions. This championship now in TNA has the possibility of becoming one of the most prestigious championships in TNA right now. Ali's got it. You've got it on the again without saying disrespectful to Macklin, because he was a great champion, but the championship just fits Mustafa Ali. It really, really does, and it's gonna be great. I think just on the right person to do the right thing to elevate that championship. It's there. Adam Brooks, by the way, was so impressive. I really, really enjoyed watching him in TNA. I hope we've got more of him. I really, really do. And there has been a lot of talk, actually, just at a slight aside, of obviously the latest round of WWE releases happened last week, not long after we done this show. Quite a few names have been linked. Could we be seeing Sam Shaw back in the Impact Zone? He was showing with Indy Hartwell on it. But anyway, anyway, the match was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Let's get back to reality. The match was brilliant. These two would just work so well together. The only thing I would say, it was that there was no surprise that Mustafa Ali won that championship. Yes, this morning. Sorry, over here in the UK, it was there's no surprise. He hit the 450 on the win for the win, and he retains. That probably wasn't a surprise, but still a fantastic encounter between both of these gentlemen. And listen, if you want to even give him a rematch, let's go, let's have it. Be looking forward to it. I really, really am. But we'll see. But a fantastic match, nevertheless. Now, EC3 and Eric Young have been in the wars recently. Well, predominantly EC3 has been in the wars since he's come back from TNA. Since he returned to TNA, sorry, Eric Young threw him into the stairs with the chair, threw him through the stairs with a chair around his neck. It is early, folks. I apologize. But next week on next week on TNA, it is going to be Eric Young and EC3 in an Anything Goes match that has been signed, sealed, and delivered, and that will be happening. So that'll be interesting. I thought the last match was okay. I mean, it could have been better. So we'll see what this next week's one does. I am really struggling to get my words out this morning. I apologize, everyone. We'll see how the match goes next week. Six knockout action next. It was, of course, the undead, the realm of the undead. Myra Slade, Ali, and Rosemary, and they were against Tessa Blanchard, Myla Moore, and Victoria Crawford. This was fun. This was a ton of fun. Obviously, the last few weeks we've seen Tessa, Myla, and Victoria in the realm of the undead going through their own horror movie, so to speak. Obviously, Ali being back in TNA is such a great sight to see. But yeah, this was really, really fun. Ali looked great, by the way, in this. It's the first one in 7 years she's been back. The undead realm was kind of spilling into the real world in this, and it's actually, I feel like if any angle, if there's any company that can pull off this kind of angle, TNA is the one. Uh, I think they're the company for it, and it's it's incredible what they can do. They can really turn anything. Anything's possible with TNA. That is for sure. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyable. It was Ali who hit the code breaker on. I was a bit surprised though because it was on Tessa Blanchard. I was a little bit surprised about that, if I'm totally honest with you. I thought that maybe Myla Moore might have got the pin. Maybe even Victoria Crawford would have got the pin. Surprised that Tessa got pinned in this. Really am, because really, and I've said this so many times, she should be getting built up for a Knockouts Championship run or an opportunity. Having her loop get pinned here, I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, it happened, and a great, great victory for the. I'm going to call them the realm of the undead because that's what they are right now. Anyway, now for the last couple of weeks, Santino Marella was obviously suspended. Well, we saw a cameo from Santino this week, and he is now no longer suspended, thankfully, under TNA. And he's actually announced, he was pretty much announcing several matches for next week's TNA. We're going to be seeing Leon Slater and Moose against Eddie Edwards and Cedric Alexander. Nick Nemeth will team with KC Navarro. Remember what I said earlier on last week? Sorry about that. Against Bear Bronson and Brian Myers for the tag team championships. What did I say last week? I said that I think he would choose him. And the TNA Knockouts Championship will, excuse me, will also be on the line as Ariana Grace will once again take on Lei Ying Lee. But this time there is an added stipulation, and that stipulation is that Zaya Brookside is banned from ringside. So next week, Ariana Grace defends the Knockouts Championship. And last thing that he noticed, the last thing that he noted was there also Indy Hartwell was back in TNA, and she's no longer suspended. She actually questioned the audacity of Daria Ray to suspend her without a valid reason, to which the crowd was chanting that Daria sucks, and Indy was like, "Yep, yes, she does." But she did shift her attention to the current Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace, saying that basically she's coming after. Oh, well, actually, well, regardless of whether she's got a championship or not, she's on the indie hit list. So perhaps that's something for Ariana Grace to get her teeth into, whether she retains the Knockouts championship next week or not. Interesting, because I've already said that I thought Indy Hartwell last year, the time was right to do it. They didn't pull the trigger last year, which was disappointing. Will they do it this year? And the difference is now there's so many more knockouts up there for opportunities. So interesting, interesting times for TNA. Interesting times in that division, which is, like I said, had a refresh over the last 6 to 8 months. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Indy Hartwell back wrestling, though. I know that for a fact. Now, backstage, Mike Santana was talking about that banger match that he had with Rich Swann last week, and hopefully you guys have seen it. It was unbelievable. and that they proudly represent TNA. However, Nick Nemeth showing up. Now, many people may have forgotten this. Nick Nemeth has the Call Your Shot trophy as he tells Santana to relax, kid. And he's teasing that cash in. Now, to be honest, I remembered it, but it's been a while since Nick has been in that picture. And it's really good because Nick Nemeth has really been the king of the cash in. You know, if you look over the years, WWE, when he had the Money in the Bank, he cashed that in, perfect timing. So I am interested to see what they do here with Nick, and if he's going to announce it, will he cash it in just at an end of a match? How will it go? But Mike Santana, yet another target on his back, and that target has never really left his back because Nick's had that since January, so it's been a while. But we'll see when Nick decides the cash in is going to happen, or the call, or when he's going to call his shot. Either way. Right, now Daria Ray is on a video call with a higher up on Impact. Basically, accuses Indy of bypassing her authority. Sorry, she's on a video call with a higher up. She was asking if this was all legitimate in terms of them being back, and they said yes, yep. It is. Someone said yes, sir, to uh, Indy Hartwell, to Daria Ray. And then Indy appears, who mocks Daria and who then accused Indy of bypassing authority, but did remind her that her contract is coming up with TNA, which I didn't know that, to be honest. I don't know how true that actually is, but to tread carefully. Hmm. Which is interesting. And that is quite interesting because then when Daria leaves, Indy opens her phone up and it kind of ended there. And I don't quite know what that was about. You know, and I'm hoping you know, if the contract is coming up for renewal, can we get her re-signed? Carlos Silva and the team. Can we get her? I don't want to lose Indy Hartwell. That's you know we've lost quite a few names in TNA recently, and we don't want Indy Hartwell to be another one. Please, thank you. Um, Mr. Elegance was next against the hometown man. I'm getting a bit tired of the. This is what's a general run of the mill, um, Mr. Elegance, because he's at the moment he's undefeated and there's no problem with that. It's just that his matches are very much the same in that it takes a distraction from one of the Elegance brand. This week it was Ash to beat the hometown man, and that's been his kind of mantra since coming into TNA, since debuting in TNA. And I've not. It's gritty and tedious a little bit on me. It's starting to get a bit, you know, here we go. We know how this is going to end, kind of thing. Um, so yeah, it would be good if that match, well, if he starts, it might be good when he loses. Put it that way. Maybe someone's going to come in and annihilate him. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there'll be a new acquisition in a few months' time, and that person will be the one that comes in and destroys him, and yeah, we can then start having proper matches because it's really difficult to. I'd written down on my notes here that I know what's going to happen in this before it finishes, before it even starts, and I was dead right. And yeah, just a little bit disappointed. So hopefully, look, it will change in time to come. But yeah, it happened. The usual stuff happened, and that was it for now, unfortunately. The Undead Realm was celebrating their win, actually. Ali was excited to be back from the Undead Realm. But you know, she's got to stay focused, Rosemary was saying. She just wants to, and Ali just responded to that saying, I just want to bite people's faces off. Okay. Not mine, please. And Maria Said was like, I wonder what that tastes like. And Rose was like, "You freaky." Um, and then I said how she liked the undead realm, and Say was like, "I dig it, I dig it." Funny then, Said was teaching Ali her dance move, and Rosemary wanted nothing of it, but she did try to do it. And she got caught out, and they hugged her, and that was the end of that segment. I don't know. There are a ton of fun. This Undead Realm and this segment and whatever else, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I really, really am. Um, I love their segments. I like watching them in the ring. I think they're great. I'm really intrigued to find out what's next with them. I think yeah, they're fabulous. I really, really do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now we saw Santino announced that Lei Ying Lee was going to get a rematch for the Knockouts Championship earlier on in the show. Um, Gia Miller caught up with Lei Ying Lee, and she actually didn't want that shot, and she wants to quit TNA because of everything that's happened with Zaya Brookside. She wants to go back to China. That prompted Tommy Dreamer to come out and basically, he went through his whole history of betrayals. I mean, look at Raven and people like that and everything he done. And she needs to step up, and not only because she represents China, but because everybody has faith in Lei Ying Lee. So it's an interesting one, to say the least. But will Lei Ying Lee win the Knockouts Championship next week on Impact? The only way you guys can find out, of course, like I mentioned, AMC Plus over in the States, Sports Center 360 in Canada, and of course, internationally, TNA Plus. Download, subscribe, 9.99 in England gives you everything. Leon Slater was next, and they love him in Syracuse. They really, really do. They are, he wants to. The whole thing about this is he's 14 days away at time of recording of becoming the longest reigning X Division champion in TNA history. And he brought up Cedric Alexander, who's been Prime Alexander. That's his Twitter. Since Slater was in, I'm not going to call it elementary. I'm going to call it senior school. Um, but Leon did say that Cedric did pin him once, like a couple of weeks ago, if you remember. He did indeed pin the X Division champion. Uh, but Leon did say he'll have no problem beating Leon Slater. Excuse me, my voice is crackling. For the third, he'll have no problem beating Cedric Alexander for the third time, which prompts Alexander to appears and called Leon a child. Well, he's a bit older than a child, but nevertheless. Um, he said that while Santino's been making matches, Daria Ray is also one-upping him in matches, and he has teased a match. He did tease a match on Impact for a couple of weeks' time, and as of right now, I can tell you that match is going to happen the day before Leon Slater's X Division record could be he could break the X Division record and become the longest reigning X Division champion, because on May the 14th it is going to be Leon Slater against Cedric Alexander, 2 out of 3 falls. Take my 9.99 right now, because that, my friends, is a match that no one is going to want to miss. Now, with that said, the system do try to attack Leon Slater. They are successful until Moose comes in. They clean house. He hits a power bomb on Myers outside the ring. He did then try to spear Alicia Edwards, and she got pulled to safety by Eddie. And Slater and Moose stand tall. Obviously, the big tag match next week is there, and I'm looking forward to that match indeed. So, but Leon Cedric, 2 out of 3 falls, 2 weeks time on TNA Impact. My goodness me, That is going to be sensational. Ryan Nemeth is ranting to someone out the back. He was complaining about Casey Navarro and Nick Nemeth, why getting the shot while he's on the sidelines, and all of that sort of stuff. He's not happy, is Nick, and he's ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting. And he then all of a sudden says he thanks the person sitting next to him for listening. Okay. The person pans around, the camera pans around, and that person is AJ Francis, who did warn Ryan though, like, don't put my hands on him. He was asking how Ryan even got in the room. In which case Ryan said, well, the door was open. I just kind of let myself in, really. Typical Ryan. No, but he did say is that everything that Ryan is complaining about is exactly what the Nemeth brothers did to him last year. And Ryan did say that that was awesome when they did it, but it sucks now that he's on the receiving end. And then AJ Francis tells him to settle his personal issues in family council, but to leave Casey Navarro to him. It's not, clearly not over between AJ Francis and Casey Navarro and TNA. And I have a feeling, like I've been saying for weeks, or I've been saying this for a long period of time, that I think Nick and Ryan are going to end up having a bit of an issue, and it finally seems to be the case. Um, but that will be happening probably in the weeks to come on Impact Wrestling. Now, the Walk with Elijah strap match. This was absolutely nuts. They brawled everywhere with this Kaz and Elijah. Um, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And I tell you what, kudos to both men on this. You remember you had to touch, it was classic strap match with corners and they're pulling the other man away. We saw that quite a few times in this one. But TNA do these type of matches really, really well. They really, really do. And I must say that I was thoroughly enjoying this match. Absolutely was. But finally, Elijah, I mean, he clocked Kazarian with a guitar. Jesus, that guitar, I think, exploded everywhere in the impact zone. Finally touched the four corners and got the job done. But it was a hell of a contest this week on TNA, and they had quite a few good contests. That and obviously that fast-paced, crisp match between Adam Brooks and Mustafa Ali. Great to see Ali back shining the way that she does, and obviously Broken Matt Hardy returns. Yes, there we go. That's my yeah uh, attempt at it anyway. But great creative twist in that match as well. The walk with Elias, the walk with Elijah. Just change the name back to Elias. The walk with Elijah strap match. Really nice twist to a normal strap match, which is nice. Um, well balanced episode this week. Good in-ring action as well. Some great storyline progression as well. Looking forward to next week, folks. Like I said, and I've said it before, AMC Plus in the States, SportsCenter 360 in Canada, internationally, TNA Plus, and in England, £9.99 gives you the lot. Make sure you check it all out. We'll be back with some more on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. But until then, everybody, cross the line. Stay safe and goodbye.